Hello and welcome to day 2 of the Leatt LIVEmaniacs. We are here at Cliffhanger, which is an extreme section of vertical walls. I'm Craig Stone, and sitting with me again is Billy Bolt. Billy, how do you think the guys went out yesterday? Quite a bit of a sufferfest.
Yeah, the sufferfest is probably the perfect way to put it. I think it was actually pretty smooth sailing when we saw them early on in the day, but I think it was a very, very tough afternoon by all accounts.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we had been speaking about it from already the prologue on that the day 1 is going to be in your face and really extreme. So let's go and have a look at the flyover of what they're going to face in today's track. So from the start, they're going to have a pretty short section. It's going to take the riders around 9 minutes. So we should be seeing them coming into this section of the Cliffhanger in about 8 minutes time. Manny is the leader on the road. He'll be the first one out, winning dominantly yesterday, taking the win almost 30 minutes over Mario Roman. They're going to do 3 laps of this Cliffhanger section of the Leatt LIVEmaniacs before they head out on to the main racetrack.
I can tell you, after having a little look at that first hill just now, that riders would definitely be favouring them conditions that we've just saw in the VT there. It's looking a little bit damp on top today. A lot of exposed tree roots. I think, yeah, like I said, those conditions would have been preferred. It's going to be interesting today.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go and have a look at some of the highlights from day 1 and see how the riders got on in the gold class.
It was so tough, just with this little bit of rain, so they stopped the race one checkpoint earlier, which is quite nice actually. And right now still nobody's in the finish, which is pretty good, so I think we made a pretty decent gap, and yeah, let's see the next couple of days.
So Manny out in front, showing why he is the defending champion. I think from here you can see that the weather conditions did change so dramatically yesterday. It was pretty dry, loose, pretty sunny day for the most part in the morning, and then after the service point, the weather changed, and it was a very, very long afternoon.
Yeah, there were just so many sections, one after the other, for these riders. Not necessarily the weather that had the biggest effect on them. It was just that it was just so intense for them. A pretty long day, 140 kilometers of riding, and when you have so many tough sections, one after the next, it just beats you down. We saw Matty Green there just trying to shoot it up, and he actually burnt his clutch out yesterday, so he had a pretty long day. With his clutch not working too well.
I'm hoping we actually managed to get a chance to talk to him after the LIVEmaniacs session, because I think the ingenuity that went on and the self-repair job that he was doing on the side of the track is definitely worth a mention, and we'll maybe get it from his perspective, hopefully, as we when he comes through this morning.
No, definitely. I wonder if he managed to find some cooking oil or something to put in there to get it to work. But we should see Manny coming in here. We're about 8:09. We expected them into the section at 8:09. So we should be seeing some live shots of him coming in here any moment. Apologies, the riders he's in the section now, I'm getting told. So he's through that little short checkpoint, and now this is the section we're talking about. The ground is a little bit damp from the rain last night, but it's not too soaked through, so it is dry underneath, but it's the rocks that are going to be the slippery part to contend with. Billy, talk us through how he's riding up here and what lines he's going to look for.
So there's actually multiple lines on this first section. I wasn't sure upon looking at what line he was actually going to take. You can really go wide and stay where the X-grip manor is, but then the traverse across kind of where he is now is a little bit more difficult. I think there is a chance he could go stay super far to the right and almost do it in one. That might be on the cards for him next lap, but your first lap he's probably a little bit rusty. I would have said Manny in general is very good at remembering the sections from year to year, so he'll know what's coming, but just getting his bearings here on the first lap and taking his time. We'll have a little scout at the other lines that are on the cards, and I expect a little bit more intensity as he comes through it next lap. But not making any mistakes. That's the key thing on this first lap, really. You're better off spend a few extra seconds and just make sure you get through cleanly. You're not damaging the bike. He's not wasting energy. He knows how strong he is, particularly in them LIVEmaniacs sections. So really get the groundwork, get a good base in this first lap, and probably push on a bit in the next two.
And the riders this morning, from their starting positions, these top three guys, they had 3-minute intervals between each of them. So, yesterday we saw at the K2 on the day one, Leatt LIVEmaniacs, where Manny almost cleared the section all 3 laps before the other riders came in. And he'll definitely be trying to do the same thing today, because the entrance here is a little bit one-lined. So if he can get out of here before traffic comes in, that'll definitely play into his hands.
I think just knowing how soon we are after the start and how much time he's actually took on the first bit there, there's a good chance that they're going to be in this section with someone else today. He's not quite going to have that luxury he had yesterday of completing all 3 laps by himself. But you never know.
And if you haven't had a look on our website at the results, I'll just give you a rundown of our top 6 so we know who to expect here. First was Manny. Second, with a great ride yesterday, was Mario Ramon. Third, Wade Young. Fourth, Michael Volkner. Fifth, Teo Kubachev. And number 6 in 6th position was Graham Jarvis.
You see the goggles getting spun there by Manny, which is a bit of a rare occurrence actually for him these days. He's got it so down, and he's kind of so conditioned that he only tends to have to spin the goggles if he's struggling. So it just shows that he's expecting a bit of a fight here in the next 2 laps, I guess. So Mario has now arrived. It's pretty even, I would say. A 3-minute gap's still probably about where we're at, but Manny not quite having it as much of his own way as he did yesterday.
Mario absolutely loves the extreme stuff. Mario says the harder the better, and yesterday at the service point he was smiling from ear to ear, and he said to Martin, "Thank you, this is great. The harder the better." He loves to suffer, but by the time he got into the finish line, he said maybe that was a little bit too much. So
and you see Mario actually is the fastest time so far through the first checkpoint, but only by a difference of 8 seconds from Manny. So all still pretty tight. I guess that would suggest there's not too many difficult things between the start line and when the guys arrive here to the Leatt LIVEmaniacs section.
Yeah, they've had a pretty open section. And Billy, just over the progression of the race over the years, I mean, before we used to see that over these tougher sections, people would try and push it and make that gap, and then sort of take a bit of a breather between sections. But nowadays, the pace is just so high. Everybody's just sort of motocrossing their way through the sections.
Exactly. I can assure you that there's no breathers being took from these guys. We're literally rounding the crest of these hills and the wheels spinning, and we're in almost special test mode from that point until we arrive to the next gold section. It is I don't want to say sprint, because obviously the nature of this race doesn't really allow sprinting, but there's absolutely zero rest for these guys from start to finish. Even the service point, 20 minutes, that's not a lot of time for the guy. The mechanics will quickly turn a tire, and you're trying to take on board as much food as possible. But even that can be hard work at times. Your heart rate's been so high for such a long period of time, and to try and rest and get in as much food on board can be difficult. But yeah, like you say, I mean, I guess you can tell just from the kind of riders and the people that have come into the sport, and 10 years ago, a high-level trials rider could almost jump on an enduro bike and be guaranteed to be a podium finisher at one of these races. But I think the sport's become so specialized, and it's all kind of heading to such fine margins, and people are training, just in hard enduro so hard, and it just shows, yes, the trial skills gives you a good base, But in my opinion, it's almost progressed past that point now where it is really like a different way of riding a motorbike. And you put any of these top 10 guys on a motocross track and they're still going to go pretty quick. So that just gives you an indication of how fast we're going on the in-between gold sections, let's say. So it looks like Manny entered his second lap and he's made it in 1 on that inside line. So Manny really... Oh no, apologies, that was Wade we heard, but a little bit of an overtake going on. And just going back to that point you made about Wade and the differences in time that get made up, that was the case back in the day. But you look at the results now, and there's actually such a small amount of time that's able to be made up on the fast sections because they are so. The times are so tight, and everybody is pushing the pace so high. It really is about surviving and not losing time on the fast sections, and then all the time made up is on these gold hills because Manny's shown here just that extra 2-3 meters can be the difference of having to do an extra 2 or 3 switchbacks, which 3 meters further up a hill can equate into a couple of minutes at the end of it.
And I wonder if Wade just being a little bit clever there, letting Manny come past because he knows Manny's been through this section once already, and Manny's going to know where the traction is and where the good lines are, and Wade's going to just try and follow his wheel here to know where the good grip is.
That would have been a good move, but it does look like Manny might slip out of sight, and that's one thing about these sections really. You can be just 20 seconds behind someone, but just given how steep the hills are and how much you kind of have to traverse these ridges, you can be 20 seconds behind someone for several hours and not see them at all. So it's a lot of swings and roundabouts go on in this game. I would say it's a day of a lot of fine margins. Yeah,
for sure. And here, Michael Walkner, he's in this as well now. So these riders all close together.
Solid ride for Michael yesterday. He's well within the podium hunt for the overall. Manny definitely taking him longer per lap than yesterday. So I think we're going to see a little bit more Dyson in this live section. And look, it's 6 minutes 38 for Manny to do his first lap.
You've got 2 or 3 riders all in the same shot, but they started, sort of 3 minutes apart.
And Mario has been in the section for about 8 minutes, 7.5, 8 minutes now, and he's still not onto the downhill. So Manny just showing he really knows how to push the pace and keep the intensity up on these LIVEmaniacs sections. I wonder if Manny's still using his last year's suspension settings, or he did more changes yesterday afternoon.
That's interesting.
You have to give credit to the thoughts to use the live interview for a quick shout out to the team and to get the message back across for them guys to have it ready. It was pretty quick thinking by him there.
Yeah, really smart just to get the word out to the service crews that everything is ready and prepared for him. So they have a quick change and then he's back out again.
Whatever setting he's got in, it looks like it's working pretty well for him. He's really managing to stay on his bike a lot more on this second lap. So he used the first lap to just know the lines and get a feeling for the ground and just the levels of traction. And I haven't seen him get off and push it once on this second lap. So Manny showing why he is the defending champion.
Manny's going to make his way across that camber now and come down the hill, down to the checkpoint before he starts his last lap.
I wouldn't be surprised if Manny caught up to the back of Mario here in his last lap. And that will really be a confidence booster this early in the day for Manny. Such a difficult section to know he's put the time in and he's extending that lead that he's got. I think that was Graham just heading in there.
Yeah. In the white kit this year.
I think Graham's not going to be pushing too hard. He's using that experience he's got. He's going to take it easy first lap. But I also wouldn't be surprised to see him pick off a few of the guys by the time we get to the end of 3 laps and off. Manny's first lap was 7 minutes. I think we can safely say everyone's going to be up towards and past the half-hour mark for this LIVEmaniacs section today. So quite a big difference to yesterday, where it was under 10 minutes for
really
most of
quick.
the top 10.
Yeah, really quick.
Theo now passing Michael Walkner, and Mario looks like he's caught up to the back of them. So this little bottleneck might hold Mario up a bit, and we might see Manny catch up to the back of him. As we've seen Manny there just before, stayed on the bike, rode all of that first bit. He's really seems like he's got the bike working good and finding a lot of traction on these slippy rocks.
And we see sometimes the riders sort of dangling both their legs off the back of the bike. You know, does that just help get the traction down onto the back wheel?
Exactly. It's just about balance and weight more than anything. And these hills are so steep, you almost need the top half of your body to be as far forward as possible to keep the front wheel from lifting. But then that obviously takes weight off the rear tire, which is what is going to ultimately give you traction too. So weight on the rear tire and also just keeping balance too. You know, it's not like we're just going up a smooth hill climbing. There's rocks and tree roots to play with. Yeah. There's cambers, there's changes of terrain. So it helps keep with balance. Graham was kind of one of the pioneers of that technique.
This is the downhill, the last downhill down to the checkpoint, and then Manny will be done and have a little breather, a little 5-minute breather in the 5-minute hot box before he's back out onto the course and across that liaison.
Today's looking a bit more difficult than yesterday, eh?
Definitely, it was way more pushing up the hill. It's super loose uphill and quite techy, so I was quite happy that I was like in there first, so I could already pull a little bit of a gap, I think.
Yeah, I think going off the checkpoint times I've seen before I left the book, you pushed the pace pretty hard there, but conditions a little bit damp and quite a lot of guys in there at once, so I think being out the front's definitely helped. What's a long day to go now, 180 kilometers estimated riding time, which I'm sure is not what you want to hear after yesterday. How's the body feeling?
Body's super tired, definitely, but I think we're gonna have a good day, and it's actually was quite nice to get like warmed up now this section, because at the beginning I was like, oh man, just this single trail riding is already super tiring, but I think now we're definitely heated up and I think warm to go, and yeah, I think a long day ahead, but we tried and nobody's catching me, same thing as yesterday, and then we should be good to go.
There you go, guys. He's still out in front looking good, but it's actually nice to see him sweating this much. It's a while since I've seen him sweat this much, so that just shows it's pretty tough out there.
So Manny's looking in really high spirits, and yesterday I saw an interview with him where he said yesterday was probably the hardest day he's ever had on a motorcycle, which says something, you know, especially after the 2023 event, the 20th anniversary event, where on that day one we had those extreme weather conditions. Paul Bolton, our field reporter, brought us some epic images of that thunderstorm that they had towards the end of day one, where everything was pretty much unrideable. And for Manny to say that yesterday was one of his hardest days he's ever had just goes to show what these guys have to go through.
Oh, just getting his leg caught on the back mudguard, that's one of the worst feelings you could possibly have. He actually said it's been away that long, and it's this kind of terrain and this style of riding is so different to anything else that he struggled a lot with the bike setup and just not knowing exactly how it needs to be, which kind of just shows that there really is nowhere else to ride like this.
As Johnny is our two-time champion here, he won in 2015 and 2016, so it has been a while since he's been here, and the technology of the bikes and the equipment has changed so much since then. So, you know, that's why he needs to just take some time to get dialed in.
And actually, as we said, Johnny has set the fastest checkpoint time for the first checkpoint. I know it's only fast riding to arrive to here, but you know, he's just shown that once the flag drops and you get a few corners in, that you can really loosen up and find some energy somewhere. So yeah, after seeing, you know, the difficulty Johnny had, and I think he even had a little quick to the doctors just to check on that he was, to the medics to check he was all right after yesterday. That's how depleted he was. So to come out on day two and set the fastest checkpoint time to start off with just shows that they're not normal, these hard enduro riders.
Not at all. Not at all. And Johnny probably knows, and the word out is that today is going to be a slightly easier day. So I guess he's going to take the opportunity to really put the hammer down and try and gain back as much time as he can.
I think not many people really believe anything that the organisers are saying about easy these days, to be honest. So I think it's more of a yeah, we'll see kind of attitude. Well, at least it is when I'm out there anyway. I'm also happy to tell them all today is going to be easier, not having a clue if it actually is or not, just to pick some spirits up.
I mean, it is the gold class after all, so they're not going to have an easy ride, but I think in terms of cold riding standards, it might be slightly easier, but certainly still going to be a real workout for these guys.
Wade and Theo now heading into their last lap. Theo has actually set the 2 second best checkpoint times, only 10 seconds and then 40 seconds behind Manny. So actually a really strong showing from Theo in this cliffhanger section today. As we have Matt Green entering the picture for his first lap. And it's just to show what carnage that this LIVEmaniacs section creates. And I'm going to say it as a rider, from a rider's perspective here, it might be great to watch, but these guys knowing they've got a 5-6 hour day ahead to be now dealing with riders on different laps and such a spike of the heart rate, it's really not a kind thing from a rider's perspective, this.
I got Mario Roman here. How is the energy level, Mario?
Yeah, it's very good for sure. I feel the muscle after yesterday, but yeah, super happy to arrive in the LIVEmaniacs early on, so you can spend all the energy right as fast as possible, and then the rest of the day will be more flowy. So yeah, it was good. I just find traffic in the last lap, and I think I lose like 2 minutes or something. But yeah, overall was good lines, and happy.
Did you miss the cliffhanger section?
Which one?
This cliffhanger, it's called cliffhanger.
It's really nice. I enjoy a lot.
And how is it to do 3 laps?
It's very tough. Early on in the morning for breakfast is really, really challenging.
I see you did not sweat at all.
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
We can see that rut now really starting to form and dig in, so that's going to help them a lot that the back wheel doesn't slide out and down. Oh, as you see, Sonny just going down there.
Yeah, that's Sonny's maybe feeling the effects of yesterday a little bit. I think that's the 2nd or 3rd time he's had a little tip over here on his first lap. And Mario, in fact, did lose quite a bit of time at 2 minutes 24 second checkpoint time slower on his last lap. So just showing that this there's a lot of traffic out there in cliffhanger right now.
So let's go down to Diana in the 5-minute stop box and see who she's got there with her.
Yeah, I'm with Theo here. He just ate something. What did you eat?
It's a rocket fuel.
Enough calories?
Yeah, rocket fuel, it's like the most powerful thing in the world.
You're gonna be Superman probably, or Super Rider. Yeah, how was the track?
Super Rider is enough for me.
How was the race course?
Good, I made some passes. So yeah, I progressed, and I'm gonna try to keep it going this way.
You're not really into talking this morning.
I mean, I'm talking, but I have a full race ahead. So
okay.
I prefer to save my energy. Thank you.
I'll let you focus. Take care.
They're long days, there's some dark thoughts creep in, and there's a whirlwind of emotions, but it is unlike nothing else. So I think I'm going to head back down to the 5 minutes area and just catch up with some of the boys down there.
And Johnny has also cleared the section. We saw him coming down, following behind Graham. I think it was a little bit earlier. So Johnny is in the box. We should be, in a few minutes, we'll go across to Billy with Johnny.
Well, you look a bit better than you did when I saw you 2 hours ago.
I've woke up a little bit now since I got into there. It's quite good that, apart from it was just one line kind of thing. But
yeah. Yeah, I've seen there's a lot of traffic coming the last few laps, but like I say, you seem to have a solid run through. Just another 170 kilometers to go. How's the body feeling?
It's pretty rough. My hands are the worst, if anything. Like, my body's not too bad, apart from I was cramping a lot yesterday. It's not too bad, but my hands are really sore. Like, on that first bit this morning, it was fast, but I could feel it in my hands because I was pushing. But I just wanted to try and catch the boys in front, which I did a little bit, so that's good.
You actually had the fastest time on that first bit this morning, so there's life in the old dog yet. You get yourself ready to go and enjoy the rest of your day.
See everyone at the service point. Everything's good this time today.
Johnny looking in really good spirits, and it's going to be good to see him to try and climb back up again. He was one of the few riders that made it through the entire course yesterday. Just going to show his experience and the determination out of him.
Graham, how are you feeling?
Oh, pretty tired. I seem to be sweating more than everybody else. I don't know.
Manny was here looking pretty dripping in sweat, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. So yeah, not too bad a day yesterday. Bad starting position, but you you pulled through pretty well. There's obviously life in the old dog yet.
Yeah, I was just happy to get to the finish. It was just weighing it up. Should I just go home or keep going?
No, keep going. Keep going, you're doing well.
This is pretty tough, and it is a bit of a workout for these boys early in the morning. But from here, they're going to have a long liaison to catch their breath again before they're going to get into the next hard sections of the day. So Matty Green just making his way across the top of the spine here. He's almost in for his last lap. But let's go back down to Billy, who's with Mitch Brightmore.
So Craig, you were wondering if there was a clothing adjustment going on for Mitch on the first lap there, and I've actually just caught at the corner of my eye, there's a stash of biscuits in his left pocket. Mitch, what's the biscuit of choice for this morning?
Don't know, some Italian biscuit, just the team have.
It seems to be working though, leading the junior class. Are you happy with yesterday's performance?
Yeah, to be honest, it was probably the longest day I've had on a bike. Feeling pretty tired this morning, but yeah, happy with the result yesterday. Managed to get to the finish, so yeah, decent.
And obviously you didn't make it to the off-road days last year. How much of an eye-opener is these mountains, and how unlike anything else were they for your first experience yesterday?
To be honest, like, there's nothing really like this in the UK. It's pretty hard to practice for it, so yeah, I've never really seen downhills or uphills like it, so it's all an eye-opener for me, just enjoying the ride.
Good stuff. Keep learning, keep doing your best you can, and hopefully we'll see you in the finish later today.
Thank you.
Good job.
So Mitch just saying there's just no place like it on earth here in Romania. You know, the hills are so steep, up and down. Nothing else like it on earth. But you can always experience it. We have some training days here with the X-Venture team, where you can come and test yourself against some of these hills.
Matthew, I wanted to grab an interview of you because I think we just need to have a quick rundown of your day yesterday and the run and repairs that went on out there.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yesterday I unfortunately lost fluid in my clutch, which was inside on one of the seals, which apparently happens. Ended up putting my juice in the clutch reservoir. And it worked like a charm. I was honest, couldn't feel the difference. Yeah, we've gone for juice for the rest of the week. Just can't get the clutch too hot.
Okay, so juice in the clutch, oil in the camelback. How did this morning go for you?
Yeah, we've been riding for about 15 minutes and then we've come into here. It was nice to catch up with my mates because there was lots of traffic on the track, so we could chat and see how everyone's feeling. I heard Johnny said he's put water in his camel pack, so he's not going to be sick today. And Alfredo said there's another line we can go around, but none of us ended up taking it.
Okay, there's quite the conversation gone on amongst these lots, so they've obviously enjoyed themselves here in Cliffhanger. But spirits are high down here. Matt's still happy and loving life. Back to you, Craig.
Oh, you gotta love it with these guys, and just the good attitudes that they have, laughing away and just having some good jokes. But that's all we have for you guys for today. Unfortunately, Billy won't be with us tomorrow. He's has to fly back home. But it's been great to have him next to me, have all of his experience. And please join us tomorrow, because tomorrow is a really, really difficult section for the Leatt LIVEmaniacs for the gold class. It's super extreme, and you're definitely going to want to tune in to check it out. So see you tomorrow. Visit our website, follow the live feeds. Thank you for joining us, and we see you later.